Hi everyone, this is Maryann from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thank you as always for the support of my channel. I very much appreciate it. So let's just start. I've got a list obviously to work through, but before we start anything, let's just focus in on the collective. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm getting to the point where I can't watch the news anymore because of all the suffering that's going on, particularly in the Middle East. So let's have a look at what the collective needs to know about ways that they can heal. What does the collective need to know about ways that they can heal? I'm getting an image of Edward Scissorhands of all things, and it's been so long since I've watched that movie, but those of you that have, I think, would remember that he was fairly ostracised, and oh wow, okay, and there was a girl from the village that actually sort of went up to his castle, and I think they might have fallen in love. I'll have to go back and look at that reference. Okay, so, and look at that story again. What does the collective need to know for healing? Okay, so we get here four-legged endurance. Yeah, okay, so animals, strength, we can learn a lot from them. And this is about endurance. So this is a time where we need strength to endure. The pace, the quickness of the horse, the strength of the lion, the cunning of the wolf, the spiritual connection of the buffalo, the strength, again, the persistence of the goat, endurance, and then we get the tree of life, conception. Something is definitely coming into, there's a shift. What I'm feeling is there's very much a shift. There's a lot of reflection going on at the moment across in many parts of the globe, in one way or another, whether it's the same as what we're reflecting or not. There's a conclusion that we've got to do better. We've got to do things differently, and so this is very much in keeping that often. Bad news and suffering leads to a renewed motivational commitment to do things in a different way, to not repeat the suffering. So we have the tree of life and we have conception. Something is coming into being, I guess, something new, and we've got to have this endurance. And then we get the shaman card, completion. This is a great at the end of the day. What is this? I don't know if I'd go so far as to say a paradigm shift. Maybe it is, but it's certainly an energetic shift, because I'm seeing so much truth being revealed that really are divorcing us from those old ways of just accepting what we are being told. And I feel that something new is coming as a result of that. So we have shaman and completion, and I do actually feel that it's a greater, look at that eagle there, it is a greater connection with spirit in the most in the most profound of ways, taking us right back to the basic tenets of humanity. And we've got the lower world, and that is in the past. The lower world in the past. And again, look at the eagle in there. It's like the eagle is very watchful, very mindful of what was dark in our past. Something new is emerging. We are really experiencing the ending of what will become our past. Okay, so we have crystals and amplification at the base of the pack. To me, that gives a connecting with the divine energy. It also gives a protective energy as well. Medicine bag and treasure, where does your treasure actually lie? I think we're also being awoken to the simplicity of living and what's really important, and we get feathers and restoration. There's a lot of healing that needs to be undertaken in the collective at this time. A lot of healing. So forgive yourself if you're not able to watch ongoing suffering. Keep seeking the truth. Keep using your voice in any way that you can. And know that this is a time where the old we're in a completion phase and something new is coming into being. Okay, so today I want to read on will there be new pauses after the pause that we're currently seeing in Gaza. The US drove pretty hard. I think drove Netanyahu. I have no love for Netanyahu. And I should say no love for his actions, let's put it that way, or any actions of anybody. And I think my views are fairly well known. It doesn't matter which side of the fence anyone is on, it's how they treat another that really is how humanely they treat someone. That really is the judgment point for me. Let's have a look at that there's currently a humanitarian pause and in return release of hostages that Hamas has taken in the Middle East, but also those that have been imprisoned in Israel, the Palestinians that have been imprisoned in Israel. So we'll look at whether there'll be more. In my timeline on the Middle East, I found that there could well be humanitarian pause in November. There is, providing that it sticks. I think it will stick. And December, there's a big aid package because 45% of homes in Gaza have been destroyed, and tens of thousands. I think it's up there around 15,000. Half of them children have died in the bombing. As a way of measuring proportionality, which is the international humanitarian law which governs whether someone is charged or found guilty of war crimes, they use the word proportionality. To give you some indication of what's going on in Gaza, in Syria, it took 4 years to destroy roughly just under half of their homes in the Assad-Russian bombing in Syria. In 3 weeks, Netanyahu has accomplished the same thing. So, and of course, millions displaced. We'll look at whether there'll be new pauses, because I feel that behind the scenes, the Biden administration is maybe was caught a little bit flat-footed by the ferocity of what Netanyahu planned. The just like wipe them all out, get rid of them, and claim Gaza statements by Israeli hard-right Zionist ministers. I think the situation became very clear to everyone, most people, as this siege kept going. We just were quite shocked by it. I know you were. So the hostages, I'm so glad they've been prioritised, because they haven't been up until now. And I think this is what the US has done. It has driven hard for this ceasefire. Well, it's pause. And I want to know if there will be other ceasefires or other pauses after this. So after this current, which would mean more hostages being released, which really is what should have happened. Negotiations should have been ongoing from day one. So let's have a look at whether or not there will be further humanitarian pauses, perhaps in December or later on in November. Will there be further humanitarian pauses in the coming weeks? Okay, so let's have a look. We've got here The Three of Wands, which is Venus in Libra, which is a nice energy. This is about justice. I'm using the Notoria Tarot in Light deck, and also the Arcanum Tarot. So, Three of Wands is about waiting. It's about it's interesting. The triangle at the top of this card says love, understanding, and will. So this is good cards, very good cards as the signifier card. And the other signifier card is the Seven of Swords. This is unfortunately Uranus energy. The Seven of Swords talks about deceit. So someone, whether it's Hamas or Israel, is not going to want to extend these ceasefires. That'll be an interesting thing to watch. Then we get the Five of Wands. I'm no surprise. Sun in Gemini energy here. It's almost as if yes, there's pressure on for a ceasefire and a resolution, bring the hostages home, but there are other goals that Netanyahu has. It's like it's fickle in a way. There's a fickleness here that I'm getting from these cards. The Five of Wands is talking about, it's that kind of tug of war, fighting with sticks kind of energy. I want, I need, never the twain shall meet. So that's at the foundation of the reading. In the past, we have the Wheel of Fortune. We have Jupiter in Sagittarius energy. The Wheel of Fortune is in the past. It's almost like the luck's run out here. It's almost what was bubbling away and ready to erupt like a volcano. That's in the past. There's no more going back to the past. There has to be some sort of solution, longer lasting solution. We get the Lovers in the sky, which is really a nice energy. This is Sun in Virgo. In these cards anyway. So we get this bright energy here of the Lovers, the twins, the two shall meet. So it's hopeful that from lessons learned, that both sides will be forced to the table to craft some kind of longer lasting deal. In the immediate future, we have wish fulfillment. So Jupiter energy again, wish fulfillment. I actually do think that there will be a longer lasting ceasefire, whether it is in the next few weeks or whether it's further out. In my timeline, I thought around February, March of next year. So it could be that there's this ongoing siege in Gaza. But there will be humanitarian pauses along the way because we get our wish. So in the immediate future, so here and now, we get the Sun in Leo energy. So we get the King of Pentacles. So this is very much Capricornian, Virgo, Taurus type energy here, Earth energy. It's about the dollars, it's about the business, it's about the money side of things. And then we get the Tower card, Mercury in Libra. Okay, that's in the environment around the Tower, and this pretty much sums it all up, doesn't it? But there's an angel there at the top of the destruction, or this almost looks like the tunnels, doesn't it? On Christine Amanpour this week, a former Israeli Defense Intelligence head said that Israel built the tunnels underneath the hospitals. When asked why, back when they were occupying Gaza, when they were asked why, they said, oh, well, it was to increase space for the hospital. So, a lot of things just aren't ringing true. And we know that Netanyahu supported Hamas for many years. And these are the uncomfortable truths. And many people are being shut down. for telling them. So unless YouTube shuts me down, I'll keep talking. Okay, so in the hopes and fears, we have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, we want an ending to this, an ending to the death. And really, or what is right and proper, is there'll have to be aid to rebuild Gaza. Where's that money going to come from? Remember the proportionality side of things. This is way outside in anyone's imagination. This is way outside proportionality, what's happened in Gaza. The Uranus in Taurus energy here. Endings, that will be the challenge to bring this to a close. The outcome card is the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so yeah, I think we have to face the fact that who is going to pick up the tab for all of this when it's all said and done? 45% of Gazans have lost their homes. They've been bombed. Almost 50% of the population's shelter. So refugee camps, running out of water, disease, hospitals no longer operational. This is a disaster. This is a disaster. The Seven of Pentacles. So strictly speaking, this says that plan A doesn't work, so we've got to fall back on plan B. And I think this is why we're going to see more humanitarian pauses, and eventually we're going to see an international approach in Gaza. I know the US government says no, it's not right for Israel to occupy Gaza. It will be an international peacekeeping force, not Israel. Thank goodness that the US has said that. So we get here clarified by the Empress. Yeah, it's the tab. It's the money. It's who is going to pick up the tab for this. Where do 2 million displaced people go? Who's going to pay for this? It's like suddenly the light bulbs have come on. So the innocent people who lost their homes, who rebuilds Gaza? Please don't say we just want it flattened and give it to the Israelis. Please don't say that. And we get the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, it's about the money. What will drive a ceasefire is who's going to pick up the tab for this? Who's going to clean up this mess? That's what's driving a lot of the thinking right now. So we have here the Hanged Man pausing. Yeah, there definitely will be. So we're moving more toward a ceasefire than not in Gaza, and more toward release of hostages. So that is the priority. And then we get the Knight of Cups. Yeah, there will be deals made. And then the Ten of Wands. There is an inscription on the triangle here. Civilization, light, freedom. Civilization, light, and freedom. So yes, there will be more humanitarian pauses. There will be more of a focus on ground fighting rather than wholesale bombing now. I think whatever Netanyahu thought he was going, and whatever they thought they were going to do here, whatever opportunity presented itself, it's just no longer viable. And I think the readings that I've done on the Middle East, it was always the US that was going to have to come in here. They had the power to stop this, negotiate release of hostages and stop the bombing of innocent civilians. I'm getting a ringing in my ear. So this is where the pressure is coming from on Netanyahu. It's coming from the US. Okay, let's now go to Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley. If Nikki Haley, so just say, for example, my past reading that Trump is found ineligible by the Supreme Court to be on the ballot, federal ballot in 2024. Somehow he gets the primary, but then the Supreme Court case comes up and he's ineligible. It's the Supreme Court. He can't change it. And so the next front runner, which I think is Nikki Haley, DeSantis and Nikki Haley. I think many are warming toward Nikki Haley. So I'm going to read on who would win. Would she win a presidential? If it was a Haley versus Biden matchup, would Haley win? I just want to see that, because I've seen that it is I feel it's a woman that has the Republican nomination. So let's have a look. Does Nikki Haley, okay, let's stop there. Will Nikki Haley, in whatever way it happens, be the Republican presidential candidate eventually? Will Nikki Haley be the Republican presidential candidate eventually? I'm just seeing a lot of writing here. I'm just trying to make it out. That's something for a meditation. The Hierophant, that's the courts and restriction. And then we get the Emperor, control, the presidency. Looks like the Supreme Court has something to say in relation to this question. The Knight of Wands is in the past, movement forward, and the Ace of Wands is in the sky. There's a potential for the Republican Party to choose, however it pans out, another candidate. The Sun card in the immediate future, full illumination. The Sun card is about, the sun comes out after rain, full illumination. These are fairly good cards, but anyway, let's see. Page of Swords, the spy in the camp, the little treasonous fellow that he is, and we get the Temperance card, moderation. In the hopes and fears, we get the Moon card, things coming out, things coming to the surface. All is not well in the Republican Party, but you don't need tarot cards to be told that. This is an outcome card, yes, the Fool card. It's a brand new start, and we've got clarified by heartbreak, divorce, loss, grief. And then we get the Queen of Wands, stepping forward. So the Three of Pentacles, there are forces that are working toward this outcome. Powerful forces. The King of Swords, the prosecutor, something coming to fruition in time, and we get guardrails. The need for guardrails. Okay, so that's a possible scenario. I'm not saying that it is a scenario. I may not be correct, but that's how I feel it may pan out. Let's take a look if President Biden has anything to worry about with Nikki Haley. She's a former governor of North Carolina, I think. She was a former ambassador to the United Nations. She is conservative. She supports abortion bans and all sorts of things. So, would the electorate go for Nikki Haley? Can Nikki Haley win? Can Nikki Haley win the presidency? I don't think so. Can Nikki Haley win the presidency? So we have the Queen of Wands coming up again, and we get something coming to fruition in time. Interesting. The past is in the foundation of this reading, and the moon, the volatility is now in the past. And that would be the volatility of Trump, the Trumpian years, the MAGA years. There'll always be MAGAs. But of course, you cut off the head of the snake and you find things do improve. Heartbreak, loss, grief. I don't think she can win. The Ace of Cups, new starts. A lot of emotion. Oh, it's going to be fairly torrid between now and 2024. The Page of Wands moving forward, and the Six of Swords. This is in the here and now, moving out of troubled waters. I like this. The Queen of Swords in the hopes and fears. No, I don't think women, democratic women or independent women, I don't know about independent women, but she would have to shift on her policies, I think. But we get the Empress card here. So that is a season of abundance, and the King of Swords, strategy and planning, illusion and delusion. The Devil card. No, something's not right with this. And the Ten of Wands, it's a heavy load to carry. No, unless there's a Four of Swords retreat and loss coming in here at the base of the pack. Unless she were to have a complete makeover, I don't think she can do it. But we've got that Empress card that is traditionally a yes card. King of Swords is yes. Seven of Cups, no. Ten of Wands, no. Three of Swords, no. So I'm not really clear here. I think what this is telling me is that the electorate won't quite go for a woman at this stage. Okay, am I correct? Show me this Empress. Can she win? Not now, but maybe at another time. And we get the Page of Pentacles. No, it's not enough. It's not enough. Young people won't support someone with such conservative policies. And the Page of Swords, no. By the time it's all said and done, I don't think so. And the Two of Pentacles, interesting cards here. That's a high wire act and difficult choices. And the Moon again. No, there's too much. She's carrying too much baggage. Okay, so that's that. And have I got time for... I was going to read on Project 25, but it's a moot point if Republicans don't take an election, even without Trump. But perhaps I'll read on that, because it is a policy, isn't it? It's almost they've made authoritarian goals a policy. It is their policy. So we'll take a look generally at that in another reading, maybe a dedicated reading to autocracy and where that's heading. So I just want to ask one more question. Is Russia now winning in Ukraine? Germany has recently announced that they're giving Ukraine $1.4 billion. I think there's more money coming from America, but I'm a little bit fuzzy because the Congress won't pass those bills. So let's take a look. Is Russia now winning in Ukraine? Is Russia now winning in Ukraine? Putin has to pay for the crimes against humanity that he's committed. So you see the endurance that's needed. Okay, is Russia winning in Ukraine? Is Russia, show me what I need to know. Is Russia winning in Ukraine? So many crosses, so many dead people. Russia's lost a lot of soldiers. Okay, is Russia now winning in Ukraine? Okay, Two of Cups. We've got commitments, contracts, two people or two forces coming together, and we get death. That's Five of Cups is loss, extreme loss, and this is being felt by Russians. This is Russians, when you live under a dictatorship, how much freedom have you got to express? But I just see Russians mourning their dead. Okay, the world, something coming to an end. Almost like there could even be... Okay, Ten of Wands is in the past. What's in the sky? Justice. Justice. No, I don't think they are winning. The Eight of Swords, they're restricted. They've been restricted. The Lovers card is in the present. Relationships, those that are committed, actually want a new start. So we get the Fool card in the environment around. Everybody's tired of this. The Sun card in the hopes and fears. They just want their families back. They want an end to this war. And then we get the Five of Wands. No, it's still pretty even here. Still fighting in selected territories for dominance. No, they're not. And then we get the Ten of Swords, which even indicates further that these are no cards, by the way. And the Queen of Cups. We probably will find out that Ukraine's taken strategic victories. The universe is not going to allow Russia to win in this. And the Page of Swords, no. They've got... they may have some kind of victory, but it'll be like propaganda. What's actually true? These cards are indicating no. So we have strength, consistency, the King of Pentacles, and abuse of power. Again, the Russians, all the money that's going into the war and isolating, borders being closed, Finland, Poland, closing their borders to Russia, isolated. No, it's not going well for the Russians, is the upshot of that. And the Russians are getting increasingly, I don't know what the word is, likely to act against Putin because of what they're feeling financially, the downturn in the economy, their economy, the isolation, and most of all the loss of their soldiers, the loss of their family, their sons, their daughters, if there are women that fight in the Russian armies, the loss of their family members. They've had enough. They're not so different from us. They've had enough. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.